Welcome back to Medrash U'Maaseh, sharing a story for this week's Parshas Chayei. Just after the 6-Day War, Rav Baruch Nachshon, a famous Lubavitcher Chassid and world-famous artist, who with his wife was one of the 6 families who moved into the newly liberated city of Chevron in the aftermath of the 6-Day War, he and his wife had a child, a baby boy. And they wanted the bris to be in Chevron. This would be the first bris taking place in Chevron since 1948. They asked the famous mohel, Rav Yossele Weisberg, who was known really as the mohel of Yerushalmi, an expert in Milah, and the mohel who really trained so many other mohelim in the world, a tremendous Ovid Hashem, to come and to perform the Bris Milah. It was supposed to take place in the Maras HaMachpelah, but in the last minute, the military authorities refused to allow them to do it in the Maras HaMachpelah, so the bris was held in a building just outside, just adjacent to the Maras HaMachpelah. They performed the bris. There was great emotion. Many dignitaries were there. The sandik was actually Menachem Begin, who was a minister in the government at the time. And when the bris was finished, everyone wanted to go. For many of them, it would be their first opportunity to go into the Maras HaMachpelah to daven. Everyone but one person, Yossele. Yossele said, I have to go back to Yerushalmi. He always had a schedule of brisin. Now please realize that during the previous period of the 6-Day War, he was performing Bris Milah by dodging bombs and shells throughout the Yerushalmi area, going out when everyone else was hiding in shelters in order to ensure that Jewish babies would have their Bris Milah on the 8th day. So here, when he looked at his timetable, he realized that he had to leave now if he was going to go back to Yerushalmi. He had a friend with him who was going to be driving him. Menachem Begin noticed what was happening, and he told Rav Yossele, he says, you'll come with me, we'll daven the Maras HaMachpelah. I will take you with my car and driver, and he had a motorcade of policemen on motorcycles, and I will ensure that you get to the bris in time. So Rav Yossele's friend went back. He had his chance to daven in Maras HaMachpelah, and he traveled in the government car with the motorcade with Menachem Begin on his way to the next bris. In this week's parsha, we see the Maras HaMachpelah being purchased by Avram Avinu, and we see the expression of the bris, the covenant between Am Yisrael and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's a covenant in which we say, B'damai Chayei, in your blood you will live. And that blood is the blood of Milah, which is a simcha, which we have. And it represents the self-sacrifice the Jews have throughout. Yossele was Moser Nefesh, sacrificed himself for the cause of Milah. And I almost felt when I saw that story that there was a welcoming arm that said that someone who did so much for the bris of Avram Avinu and for the children of the Avos shouldn't have to leave without being able to come daven in the Maras HaMachpelah. Unfortunately, we're in a time of war, a time when blood is shed and Mesiras Nefesh, both in action, in actuality, and in terms of people's willingness to risk their lives for others, is doing so much for Am Yisrael. But we daven and pray that the Avos should intercede for Am Yisrael, and that the only blood we should have to be shedding is the blood where people say Mazel Tov at the Simcha of the Bris Milah, and we'll be able to see how all the blood which was shed over generations for Jewish identity, for the Bris of the Avos, will be able to come forth with great life and happiness, as the Pasuk says, B'damai Chayei, in your blood you will live. Wishing everyone a wonderful and peaceful Shabbos.